Yeah, that's what's on page 35.
All right. So she just read what? Oh, sorry. I think I'm muted. She just read to us page 35 is where it says, "Have you ever been to war?" Now, are we actually talking about war? Are we talking about what's going on in Ukraine and Russia, between Ukraine and Russia, or is this something else that we're talking about? What's really going on here? Can you expound further?
Oh, this is about mental. Have you been to war? It's more of a what goes on within your mental. I know a lot of people, especially during COVID times, are going through depression.
Mm-hmm.
This also has to do with some suicidal process in her to suicide. Have you been to war? Have you been to the dark times?
Mm.
Have you been to a time where it's like you felt hopeless? Because I've been there. And he proceeds to tell you, my war wasn't with things, it wasn't with human beings, it wasn't with people that you could be angry at, it was with things without a soul. They don't have, like, it's all about mental. Let me go back to the first, yeah. And then it says, it was your darkness that stayed longer and warm that never lasted. So it's it's definitely feeling loneliness within, and that's the emotion that usually comes when you're going through emotions like depression and stuff like that. It's just you feeling isolated from people. And usually when people are going through emotions like that, depression, they usually have symptoms. People use alcohol as a way to deal with it. Other people use different kind of things, or whatever
different coping
it is
mechanisms, right? Different coping skills,
coping
right?
mechanisms. So yeah, I said my war was with it was with drink that made me swoon and quite often made me want to reach for the yeah. So my war was with a troubled mind because it's my mind that I'm dealing with, and quite often we find ourselves within. I think one of the worst struggles and fights that we have is with ourselves and our deeper thoughts, in which is like especially if you're someone that is like you're hard on yourself all the time. You're criticizing yourself, so it's like that's me, or it's criticizing. I need to do good. I need to do better. So yeah, that's pretty much what the chapter delves into, and I hope people can find comfort in knowing that even though you might be feeling that, other people are also feeling that, and it's just not you. And if you're feeling like that, you should reach out and you should seek for help, because there's no way you should be in that mental state for that long period of time. It's depressing. It's hard. Yeah.
It is hard. Honestly, I feel a lot of people will be able to relate to this, especially myself too. So like from when I started medical school this year, like in 2020, right? So it was the time when COVID started too. And most of us are humans are social beings, and we take delight in hanging out with people, having these like in-person activities and stuff, but only for us to go and school on Zoom. So you barely met your friends, you didn't know what was going on, and it was a lot of struggle. Even till now, people are struggling, having to come to terms with like the mental health that they're dealing with. So I think you crafted really well when you say like we're dealing with this, and it's in our context, in our African culture, sometimes we frown on mental health, because especially like when a guy is seen crying, like I know from the Ghanaian perspective, they tell you no, man does not cry. But it's okay for a man to cry. We all have emotions and we all have vulnerability. So sometimes when you go through these things, like you said, know that you are not alone. Can also actually be a sort of comfort, And then go ahead. I feel like you want to say something.
And like just to add on, I think one of the most deprecating things within the society is that men are often recommended for showing emotions, which is actually really sick. And I think it's crucial that they need more attention, because within society nowadays, suicide rates within men is actually higher than it actually needs to be. So please, if you're feeling any type of way, like you're sad, you feel depressed, you feel hopeless, seek somebody to talk to, because it's usually best to talk to somebody else than to, keep that inside and just to be feeling isolated and hopeless. That is not the feeling that you should be feeling by yourself. So, yeah.
Right. Yes, and nobody is strong enough. You might think you have it, but when it comes, it doesn't give any warnings. So when you're feeling down, when you're feeling like your sleep cycle's off, when you feel like a little like depressed, when you feel like you lost appetite and stuff like that, these are some symptoms of you being down. You haven't getting ready to go to war, and this enemy that we fight, like it's one thing fighting somebody you can see. and it's another thing finding somebody you cannot see, and that is how terrible this world is. So like I feel like when you going through these moments, please reach out, tell somebody, you know. And also I also want to encourage us to also be vigilant. If we have friends that we see having little mood changes, it's okay sometimes you have mood changes, but if it's persistent, let us draw closer to them, show them more love and affection. I think that goes a long way to kind of like help. Okay, thank you, Tori, for reading out to us your favorite part of the book. I know it was a hard one choosing because almost every book, there's about 24, 23 chapters in this book, and almost every one of them say something different. And that's one thing I like about this book, you know, because like just when you thought you've seen it all, then there's a new chapter that talks about something different. I think people are really gonna love this book, you know. Okay, so now what we're gonna do next is now we're gonna go. So I know some of us have already bought the book, right? And I have left some reviews. So at this point,